Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's great to see you all here this morning. I am happy to be here with you as always. And I hope that everyone's doing well. And if you're not doing all that well, then this morning is for you. This morning is for you. Um, I I want to talk about the concept of no mud, no lotus. No mud, no lotus. And I think that we currently live in a time where we see things like positive vibes only, and um, it's all good, and we want to put on a face like everything is fine all the time for people, and it's unrealistic. And as far back as the yogic teachings, we are encouraged to look at the challenges and the difficulties as opportunities for growth, and not just opportunities, but a necessary component. And if we use those opportunities well, we don't have to relearn the same lessons. So this phrase, no mud, no lotus, it's something that we've all probably heard, but it's really easy to sort of gloss over what it really means in our lives. In Buddhism, the lotus is a powerful symbol, as it is in yoga. It's a flower of 1,000 petals that represent ultimate wisdom. So each petal is wisdom, enlightenment, and pure beauty. It also represents peace. So when we are truly wise, we don't have attachments or aversions or delusions, and therefore we have peace. So the catch is, though, that the lotus and all that wisdom, it blooms in the mud, from the mud. It blooms from the mud. It doesn't come from the easy, the beautiful. So the thick, dark, sticky, often foul mud is not separate from the lotus. It's essential to its blossoming. Without the mud, there can't be one, can't be 1,000 petals. So, similarly, and I mean, this is not news to any of you, but similarly, the hardest places in our lives where we feel stuck, like we're spinning our wheels, the places where we're reactive or raw or in pain, these are the very soil from which our wisdom and our compassion and our peace can grow if we don't resist those moments. So today we're going to explore this idea, and I'll start with giving you this kind of the story of the 1,000 petaled lotus. In the yogic tradition, um, it represents the crown chakra, Sahasrara, the crown, that's like the top chakra of the seven. And it symbolizes the fullest realization of consciousness, union with the divine, and a sense of being at peace with ourselves and all things. But you don't get there. You can't just rise up from the root chakra in the mud to here without a whole bunch of stuff that happens in between. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali talks about the kleshas. Now, the kleshas are the mental and emotional afflictions that cause us suffering, which are attachment, aversion, fear, and ignorance. And they are the source of all suffering. This is our mud, essentially. What are we attached to? What are we averse to? And in yoga, it teaches us not to ignore them, but to bring awareness to them, compassionate awareness, and to sit with things, because what we resist persists and what we embrace dissolves. So when we sit with these patterns, rather than running from them, we develop discernment, we develop steady practice. And that's how the nervous system, like scientifically, when we can sit with something and expand our capacity for discomfort, our nervous system expands its capacity to hold discomfort. And then we become a new version of ourselves. We become steadier. Okay. We are able to deal with things with less reaction. In the Buddhist teachings, they use the lotus to illustrate the same truth, but the Buddhas often depicted holding a lotus or sitting on a lotus to remind us that enlightenment arises from human suffering, not despite it. Thich Thich Nhat Hanh famously said, "No mud, no lotus. Without suffering, there is no understanding and no compassion." So we all like to think of ourselves as compassionate people, I think. And we like to be understanding. But when the mud comes, we don't like it very much. But it's the very thing that helps us to connect more compassionately to others. So I'm in a bit of my own mud right now. As y'all know, I'm just sharing everything as authentically as I can. I've been really exploring attachment theory. I just recorded a podcast on it this week and put it out because I would have thought that I had a very secure attachment even throughout my last marriage. It turns out that's not the case at all. It felt that way. But now that I'm on my own and exploring the world in new ways, it's coming to the light that I have a very anxious attachment style and I'm very like panicked at certain things. If I feel withdrawal in certain areas, I like go into panic and almost despair, and it's very painful. And I'm having this reflected in a new kind of relationship that I'm in, and and I caught myself being like, well, I should just reject him before he rejects me, so I can go find somebody who love bombs me and makes it more comfortable. Like just like stupid thoughts, but I'm witnessing myself seeking comfort and soothing instead of staying with what is so that it can be healed. And that's really been my mantra is, do you want to be soothed, Pam, or do you want to be healed? Do you want to heal this attachment? Do you want to deal with this thing from the past because it's surfacing? Do you want to sit in the mud so that you can develop another petal on the lotus? And I'll tell you what, the answer is often no, I don't want to, but I'm committed to it, and it's been a worthy endeavor. I've just chosen to presence it, to sit with it, and then ask myself, like, what do I need? And here's the thing I want to say about all of this. This is a kind of a funny analogy, but there's a band in Alberta called the Corb Lund and the Hurtin' Albertans, and some of you might know them, maybe some of you haven't. But anyways, they have a very famous song called "The Truck Got Stuck," and they talk about the Ford got stuck and the Chev got stuck and the Dodge got stuck in the tractor rut, and basically it's like all the trucks trying to pull each other out, right? Like they're all. But the reality is, not one of those trucks gets out of the mud just by itself. You can't, you're not going to pull the truck out by yourself by hand. And I've realized that I've done everything, so much healing, so much personal development, all of that on my own. And I realized this is mud I haven't been in before. So who's the Ford and the Chev and the Dodge that could help get me unstuck? So I've been leaning into community, to deep friendships, going to my own therapist, doing the work of reaching out and connecting and getting that little like winch to help pull me out of the mud a little bit more quickly. And it's been revelatory to me that probably a lot of mud that I sat in my life, I didn't need to sit there so long. When we reach out and we share and we ask for the help that we need. So I've been learning as I'm expanding my capacity how to soothe myself in ways that I didn't really know of before. And it's been amazing. So I'm already developing wisdom. And this is the thing that I would love to say to you about all of this. Being here matters because we all get in the mud at times, and sometimes just showing up and seeing community and being around people who are also going through other things, hearing other people's stories, that can be the winch that helps us nudge us out of the mud a little bit. But if we can remember that everything we want is on the other side of sitting with our shit, not in numbing it, avoiding it, or soothing it. Everything we want is on the other side of sitting with it, then we can have the capacity to sit. So I invite you to think about, what is your mud right now? What feels hard or sticky or painful? What's your tendency? How do you want to respond habitually, if you will? Like I was having quite a laugh at myself at some of my old patterns, like just coming up and I'm like a 10-year-old. It's ridiculous, But if you can witness that as those patterns come up, you can see them with compassion and not act on them. Do you push it away? Do you try to fix it fast? Do you numb it? Do you judge yourself? Like, notice what you do when you're in the mud. And then what might change if you chose to sit with it instead? And who can you invite to sit in it with you or hold your hand while you sit in it? Because it sure makes it a lot better. And lastly, like, what kind of lotus might grow from this mud? What qualities would you hope would arise if you sit and you face this well? And for me, I know on the other side of this journey, I hope that what grows is like secure attachment within myself, unbothered by how other people come or go. And that's a really powerful and worthy, that's worth it to me to sit in the mud for, to get to that place. So I got a little meditation for us this morning. If you want to set yourself up, close your eyes. If you can lie down if you like. Okay, take a deep, full breath in and let it out your mouth. And do a few more like that, just deep, long breaths. And each time you exhale, let your shoulders soften. And then let your breath find its natural rhythm. And let's just bring the mind body connection into play and notice the crown of your head, your eyes, the outline of your ears, the rims of your nostrils, your upper lip, your lower jaw, your collarbones, your shoulder blades, your upper arm bones, your elbow pits. And become aware of your lower arm bones, your wrists, the palms of both hands, and the tips of each of your fingers. Notice the space at the center of your chest, your solar plexus, center of your belly, your root chakra. Notice your hips on the seat. And bring your attention to your upper legs, your knees, your lower legs, your ankles, the tops of your feet, the bottoms of your feet. And then your whole body as a space. Now I invite you to bring to mind something in your life that feels like mud. Could be a challenging emotion, a pattern you want to change, a relationship, a moment of stuckness. Don't try to fix it, just see it and acknowledge it. Now imagine this mud, whatever your mud is, you're holding it in your hands. It's like literal mud. Notice its texture, its weight. Maybe it's warm or cold or sticky or messy. Now bring your awareness to your heart. See if you can hold this mud with compassion as you would hold a crying child or a dear friend that's struggling. Breathe into your heart as though you are breathing in and out from your heart center. And repeat silently, I see you and I will not turn away. As you keep breathing, imagine that from this mud, a small green shoot begins pushing up. Very beginnings of a lotus. Notice how the mud nourishes this tender green shoot. With each breath, see this lotus rising higher. Its stem is strong, flexible, and resilient. Watch as it breaks through the surface of the water and the mud, unfolding one petal at a time. See its colors: white, pink, purple, gold. And imagine its 1,000 petals opening wide to the sun. Keep your attention on this 1,000 petaled lotus glistening with the sun. You might silently repeat, no mud, no lotus. My wisdom grows from my challenges. I choose to stay present with what is. Let your heart soften and feel the spaciousness, the possibility that your suffering can transform into understanding, compassion, but even more desirably, peace. The peace you seek is on the other side of the suffering. Stay here for a few more breaths, just watching the lotus bloom in your mind's eye. Now bring your awareness just back to your body. Notice the subtle expansion and contraction of your torso with your breath. And then feel your body supported beneath you. And take a long breath in through your nose. And let it out through your mouth. Feel that beautiful release. One more like that. Breathe in fully. And then take 2 more sips of air. Hold at the top. Let that breath hover at the crown of your head. And then slowly let it out. Let your eyes flutter open. Hmm. Again, I thank you all for being here today. It's just a simple teaching, but one of the pathways for us to look at where the mud is particularly in our lives, and a pathway into dealing with it is to use the kleshas. We can use these 3 questions. What are my attachments? What are my aversions? And what are my delusions? So in any situation where you're stuck, if you say, well, what am I attached to here? What am I attached to, an outcome or someone being a certain way, or feeling a certain way? What is the aversion? What am I against? What don't I want to have happen? And why am I afraid of that? And then what delusion do I have? And usually the delusion is that something should be different than it is, in which case we are just in an argument with reality. So those 3 questions around any place where you feel like there's mud or you're stuck are just like pathway to set you free. I'd love to open it up if anybody has any teaching or teachings. Yeah, if you have teachings, please. And but if you have any gratitude that you want to share or anything about the teaching this morning, I always love to hear from you. Tessa, yeah, it's great to see you, by the way.
Yeah, that is my gratitude. I am just so happy and grateful that I have a partner that suggested gently that I set my alarm early and get up to join this because it's such a nice and you know I love Gratitude Circle, but I have an aversion to waking up before 7 a.m. So I am so happy that I did though. It was such a nice way to start the day, and I just really appreciate you and everybody here. It's great to see some faces that I've missed.
Awesome. Thanks, Tessa. It's lovely to have you. And I agree. It's like I love to be here with everybody too. It's a good way to start the day. Does anyone else want to share this morning? Deborah, great.
Good morning. It's good to be here. I haven't been here for a while. And uh, what I've been noticing for me is that in my mud, I notice that I get frustrated. And so I just really wanted to like share that because I haven't voiced that to anyone. I don't really have a lot of people here that I can talk to. So I'm so grateful that you had this teaching this morning, and I'm kind of feeling a little I don't know, a little emotional about that, you know, that frustration. And I guess behind it, there might be a little bit, oh, I should know better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the delusion, right? And that like it should be different. I should know better. And that's what I'm looking at myself, Deborah, and going like, yeah, maybe I should, but clearly I don't. So I might as well just I just
Yeah.
embrace our humanness. Beautiful. Well, I'm so glad
Thank
you're
you.
here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this morning. I wish you all a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.